I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, January 28th, 2020 meeting of the Board of Selectmen. I'd just like to announce to people in the meeting that you are being photographed. This is running on cable, and by staying in this room, you agree to have your pictures taken as well as your voice recorded. So we'll go to the warrant number 2016.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On warrant 2016 payroll side, we have $683,509, and on bills payable, $929,842. The usual payroll deductions this week in the amount of $86,666, $537,338 for electricity for MELD, and then snow-related expenses for DPW in the amount of $17,737. We also had a little up above under payroll. We also had $6,087 in snow-related expenses. We're at about 62% for the year so far in the snow and ice.
Don't say it.
I'm not saying it. I said it yesterday, 5 years ago.
I remember that
Yeah.
vividly.
And,
We're still holding it against
yeah,
you.
I said it in another town too once. Anyway, so just saying, we're at 62% for snow. Sarah Wood has reviewed the warrant and asks the board's affirmative action.
Move to accept as presented.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. We have one set of minutes, open session of January 14th, 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes of January 14th, 2020 as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously. The Town Administrator report and update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Reminder for residents that this Saturday is the all-day budget meeting for the fiscal +21 budget. This is sort of the formal kickoff to our budget development process with the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee, as well as departments and committees to start reviewing the budget. We start here at, we call the meeting to order at 8:15 and run through until we're done, somewhere probably around 3 o'clock. So it is an open meeting, and the public is encouraged to attend and weigh in on the development of our spending plan for next year. The master development planning process for 105 South Main Street is continuing and beginning to crystallize. Master Development Planning Committee and HKT met again last week, and the committee has coalesced around a combined public safety building for the first phase or the first project. We should get pretty good cost estimates in, I'm hopeful next week, certainly by, I think, the week after. Committee meets again on February 12th, and we'll be reviewing the project again at that time with the benefit of the cost estimates in hand.
Are we going to get cost estimates of a single fire department only? We will. Okay.
Yeah, so they're gonna cost it out almost in sort of Lego pieces, you know. So just do a fire station, it's this. If you do fire and police, it's this. If you do police alone, 10 years out, it's going to be this. As well as the open space, it'll be kind of an a la carte approach. So if we want to do just the parking in front of the building, that'll be sort of included in the overall site development costs. And then there's another parking lot that's a little bit more remote, but might be necessary for public meetings and things like that. That'll be costed out separately. So, this all, obviously is leading up to the special town meeting that is scheduled for March 24th. So once the committee gets the cost estimates and formalizes or confirms their decision going forward, they'll be meeting with the board, but also we'll start on the public education campaign building up to March 24th. So I don't recall offhand where we're meeting on the 12th, but that'll be posted well in advance. So, From the town clerk's office, the nomination papers are open for this year's annual election, which is May 19th. The usual slate of positions is available. Papers are available at the clerk's office, and the clerk's office can answer any questions that you have. Papers are due back, I believe, on March 31st. I mentioned at the last meeting some infrastructure work, water main repair work on Route 114 at the Ipswich River. We were expecting that could go 2 or 3 weeks. It actually went, I think, less than a week. The contractor got out, replaced the section of the main, and it was a really quiet project. We didn't get any complaints, I don't think, in my office.
Very limited disruption.
Yeah, so could have been a lot worse. That's a good sign that they were well prepared. They had a good contractor on board.
They were using Farnsworth Landing as a staging
Yes.
area, and they seem to have left it in better condition than they found it, so that's a
Always
plus too.
appreciate that, yeah. We've done a lot of grant acceptances in the last couple of months. This is an old one that Chief Martinuck chased down from a storm 5 years ago this week. It was a 3-day blizzard that was the first of the several blizzards that we had
Which were caused by you.
Which was right around the time you said that we were doing great on the budget.
This one actually was the year before I started, so I was just sort
Still
of,
your fault.
I was kind of reaching ahead,
Still your fault.
projecting myself. But the chief has managed to chase down another almost $15,000 in FEMA reimbursements related to cleanup work in that storm. Those funds will just go into the treasury and become part of free cash when we close the books on the current year. A couple of shout outs to the DPW, in addition to, well, they didn't do the water main work at the river, but they did come out 2 Fridays ago, one of the exceptionally cold nights. They were out there pretty much all night. I think I got a call around 10 or 10:30 that we had a water main break almost in front of the DPW building. And they were out there, I think they finished up around 6 or 6:30 that morning. And then they were back in, I believe it was that night, to plow snow. So we appreciate that they're always available for us, and they don't get a lot of love and attention, but we appreciate it when they're there. So we know we can count on them. And then finally, last week, we received notice from DHCD that our housing production plan has been approved. The board approved that in December, I think. And so this will allow us to add housing units to our affordable housing inventory if the units meet the statutory requirements for deed restrictions and affordability. So thanks to Katrina O'Leary for her work leading that initiative and finding the grant money to do that. I think that was all paid for with grant money that she was able to chase down, other than some local time that was put into that. So, and also thanks to our partners at MAPC who did the work for us. So that's all I've got for this week.
Any questions for Mr. Sheehan? We have no one signed up for our public comment period, but I'd like to take this time to notice the passing of Donna Innes. Donna was the right-hand person of our former town administrator, Ira Singer. If you came into town hall, at least from when I started as a selectman, Donna was the face of Middleton. I mean, Donna had such institutional memory. She would walk you through everything, walk you through the process. Just a great person, wonderful to be around. She retired a few years ago. But just our hearts go out to her family, and we just remember Donna. Again, when you talk about people that work for Middleton, it's just their hearts are in the job, and it's just she was one of those people. So we just like to recognize and tell her family our sorrow. Our next agenda item is the vote to open the May 12th, 2020 annual town meeting warrant.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we vote to open the May 12th, 2020 annual town meeting warrant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, it passes unanimously.
What is the date that we're going to close?
We are closing, it's in March, March 24th,
Okay.
which is also the date of the special.
Yep, it is. Okay.
All righty. Our next agenda item is to review and vote to set the fiscal year 20 sewer rate for the South Essex Sewer District. We also just want to announce that's a position that's still open, if anybody's interested.
That's correct, right.
We need a representative for the South Essex Sewer District, and if you happen to live up off of Locust Street and are affected by that, that might be a committee that you're interested in, because it's obviously, that's the part of town that gets their rates set, and it'd be, somebody up there would have a vested interest in attending those meetings, but, Mr. Sheehan.
So just the, sort of the standard, standard thing, rate didn't change much. The rate is $1.61.6 per 100 cubic feet.
Great. Any questions for Mr. Sheehan? Do I have a motion?
Move to set the FY 20 sewer rate for South Essex Sewer District at 1.616 per 100 cubic feet.
Second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? All right, passes unanimously. Our next agenda item is to review and vote to accept a donation from Raymond Felitti, manager of Fairway Estates LLC, in the amount of $5,000 per unit for a 45-unit project located at 59 South Main Street. Said donation to be used toward the design and construction of a senior center community center. We need to couple this together with a vote to establish a gift account pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53A, to accept donations and gifts to support this said senior center and community center. Mr. Sheehan.
Yeah, so this is a really nice gesture on the part of Mr. Fleety, but also on the part of the Board of Appeals and Katrina O'Leary, our town planner, who advises the Board of Appeals. This was part of the negotiation that came about as that condominium project was going through the use variance process with the Board of Appeals. There were some conversations about the public benefit of the project, or including a public benefit with the project. So they arrived at a donation amount of $5,000 per unit for the 45 units. So it's it will be money well raised, and hopefully will act as sort of a seed money for other funds that we might be able to bring in to offset the costs to the taxpayers of the new community center / senior center.
Should we create the fund before?
You can do it either way. It has to be created before we can put money into it, so.
So a question on the gift account. If there were ever any grant dollars that were obtained or other type of revenue sources that we would want to segregate specifically for a senior center construction design, could it go into this because it's a gift account, or would it have to sit in a separate, like the capital reserve account?
It would, if it's not a gift or a donation, it would be segregated.
Okay.
So you could set up a stabilization account and do it that way. It's not unusual for projects like this to get donations. I don't know how the library did it.
The library, yeah, we raised about 600,000.
Yeah, so that was probably all segregated into a gift account as well. And I would expect that as we get closer to that project, that there could be other funding coming in. But in terms of public monies that we have that we want to be able to, so, you know, we've talked about, you know, if we had funds from the sale of the existing senior center, for instance, if we wanted to sort of segregate that out, we would take that out of, whatever that amount was, take that out of free cash and put it somewhere safe. It could be sort of earmarked within the stabilization fund, or it could be set up as its own.
So unlike a stabilization fund, drawing from a gift account is not a two-thirds.
Correct.
And does it require just board action or town
To
meeting?
establish it, it's,
No, to draw money on it.
To draw, it's just board action as well. Yeah.
Board action or just action by the CFO?
I'm pretty sure it's board action. I'll double check that.
So the only thing I'd ask is thank you to Mr. Felidi and Fairway Estates, and a big thank you too to the Board of Appeals and Katrina and their work on this, but, you know, I'm not sure exactly what the language states. I know there's a document in here, but it can be used for design and construction of a senior center or community center.
Correct.
Do we need to establish in the gift account specific protocols for what those dollars can be used from? I mean, once we receive the dollars and they go into the gift account, obviously we have to fulfill the tenets of what it was provided to us, but do we need to provide any guardrails or description within the gift account?
No, not really. So we created one last year for veterans donations. Well, actually, on that one, we did set a policy for that. So there's a lot of leeway. Many communities just set up the gift account and they don't do anything. They don't say anything further about it. We could certainly do that if the board would like that.
I just didn't
in
know
order
if
to-
the dollars came to us had a certain level of requirement that would have to be highlighted on this.
No, but we could certainly do that if it's the board's preference.
So the Mass General Law, is that vague, for lack of a better word?
Yeah.
Not vague, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, open.
Sometimes boards will do it to sort of safeguard the money in the future. They know what their intentions were, but the concern
Future
is
boards.
in the future, as time goes by, memories
Other
change.
words, yeah.
Not mine, not my memory, but.
So I would recommend at least some type of language that memorializes the use of this towards design and construction.
Okay.
Do I have that in the form of a motion?
Yeah, so my motion is that we establish a gift account pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53A, to accept donations and gifts to support a senior center, community center, and more specifically, the dollars to be used towards the design and construction of a senior center and/or community center.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second, do I have any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve with thanks and accept the donation from Raymond Felidi, manager of Fairway Estates LLC, in the amount of $5,000 per unit for a 45-unit project located at 59 South Main Street, and that this donation be deposited into the gift account that was created for this purpose.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second, do I have any further discussion?
I do understand there's still a hurdle or two remaining for the,
They're still going through the permitting process.
yeah, for
Yeah.
permitting.
I have a motion,
It requires site plan approval as well as a definitive subdivision approval.
okay, so I have a motion and a second, do I have any further discussion? None, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. Mr. Sheehan, is item number 6 require us to wait till the time posted, or are we,
Yeah, I think so.
It does, because there was a legal notice for this one.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
so we have to delay you for a second. Item number 7 is a vote to declare surplus the 2007 Dodge Charger with 107,755 miles, and to authorize the town administrator to donate it to the North Shore Essex Tech, where they can put flames on the sides and, as a learning project.
So this one, just as a little backup for the board, this was a Frontline cruiser. It had some,
What's the black and white, not the, so we have two.
yeah, it's the one that hasn't been in service for a while.
Good catch.
So the
not
Essex
the
Tech
all-black one.
had been working on it, trying to get it running again. They gave it their best effort, and it was beyond repair. So what they'd like to do is get it back so that they can sort of use it as a cadaver, if you will, to peel it apart and kind of look inside, look under the lifters, and
Those Dodge Chargers didn't work out as police vehicles in any department. It's funny, they look fast, but they never really worked out that well.
It's funny, I know, all the vehicles that we've gone now are the Ford Explorers.
yes.
I've actually noticed that Dodges are reappearing in police. Is there I don't know if you know this, but is there a significant dollar difference between the Ford Explorer and the, I think it's the Dodge Durango? I think it's the Durango that they have, the all-wheel
All
drive.
for the SUV.
I don't know. No, I'm not sure, and I'm reluctant to guess.
Yeah, okay, it was just a thought.
And we're like, what, 44,000?
Fully fitted out with lights and all that stuff.
Right.
And the electronics, yeah. I think the list price is somewhere around 33 or 35, which seems low to me, but I'm glad to say I haven't spent much time in them, so I don't know what they have compared to your typical domestic Explorer vehicle, so. But,
Back
yeah,
seat's a little bit different than you might be used to.
I'll take your word for it.
We'll clean it for you if you get back. Yeah, okay.
But, yeah, the electronics and the lights and all that, I think that's another 10 or 12,000.
Yeah, it's like 12 grand, yeah.
Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we declare surplus the 2007 Dodge Charger that presently has 107,755 miles, and that we also authorize the town administrator to donate it to North Shore Essex Tech.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously.
If I could, 1 second, could you mention thanks again to the high school for repairing the other vehicle that we have that,
Oh, sure.
I don't know if that was a nice save by them, by the automotive high school.
I'll mention it.
Great. All right. And our next agenda item is a vote to renew and vote to sign the 3-year employment agreement with the town administrator. We have the copy of the contract in our package. I believe the 3 of us are the voting members on that. Do I have any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the 3-year employment contract for the town administrator that will be from July 1st, 2020 till June 30th, 2023.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any further discussion? If not, we'll have, the 3 of us will take a vote.
Just a further discussion I have is a big thanks again, Andy, for the work you've done in your time here. You've matured into the role, but, I think a lot of the activities that you have personally undertaken, the one that I'm happiest about is the transparency and the increased visibility into how town government works, how the budget process works. I love watching your videos describing the budget process. It's actually very helpful. And when I do jump online and look at it, I see that a lot of folks have actually viewed that, unless it's you viewing it constantly yourself, time and time again.
My parents.
It could be that too. Well, I'm sure they're as proud as we are. But, a big thank you. I think, your time here, as I said, you've matured into the role, and I think we are in an even better place today. So,
Thank you, I appreciate that.
After, we had, appointed Andy, initially, many, townspeople that, had supported or supporters of a different candidate that had applied for the job at that time, spoke to me afterwards about their, disappointment as to how, that hiring decision was made. But many of them, within the first year that you were here, came up to me and said, now I understand why you guys hired Andy. So I think that's kind of a tribute, to you and how you've, reached out to various people, in the community, and how you've gone about, doing the job of our town administrator.
Because we know the ski areas want you to up there because you really help business. Do I have a motion?
There was a motion.
There was a motion.
There was
There
a
was a second.
second.
Oh, we have got, okay. No further
There was
discussion?
gushing.
There was discussion? All right. And we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And for the record, Selectman Cassiotis and Selectman Reski have abstained from that vote. I'm assuming we do not have an executive session.
Correct.
All righty. Unfortunately, we have to wait until the published time, which is another 12 minutes. So this is going to be a commercial, so we have a 12-minute break. While we'll stand break. I'd like to call the meeting back to order. Some of you at home may have just seen us just sitting around for 10 minutes, is because we had published the next agenda item for a specific time, so we had to wait for that time. And for those people in the know as to what can and can be done, just have you know that we were talking about a bunch of nonsense. We were not discussing any agenda items. We were not making any discussions about contemplating any litigation or anything, so we basically did not bring up any of the items that were on tonight or in future meetings. So if you saw us talking, it was mostly about family and what we did last weekend. So our next agenda item and final agenda item is the 7:45 agenda item, in which I have to recuse myself as I have a conflict. So I'm going to recuse myself and have Mr. Cassiotis take over.
All right, so next we have a public hearing on transfer of wine and malt beverages with cordials and liquor license and common victualler license currently held by Maximos Inc., doing business as Captain Pizza, manager Demetria Captain, located at 227 Maple Street, Middleton, on the petition of Barney Restaurant Group, limited liability company, doing business as Captain Pizza by owner and new manager Kathleen Barrett. So if I could ask Demetria to make a mention about, you know, who you are and what the, just sort of who you are, the business location and
What do you want me to
what's
say?
going on. Just identify yourself
Oh.
and the business location.
My name is Demetria Captain. I'm managing Captain Pizza currently with my mom, Katie Captain, who is the owner. We've had the business for 19 years, I think it is now. And we're ready to move on, and we'd like to pass the wand to Kathy and Kevin, who we think would be a great fit.
Good, well,
Well, thank you for 19 years in Middleton.
yeah.
Well, I thank Middleton for being such great patrons and supportive and a great town. Thank you.
All right, if we want to, Kathleen, you want to identify yourself and,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm Kathleen Barrett.
First, I'll just add, this is your opportunity, you may not realize it, but actually people watch this meeting at home. So this is a great opportunity to introduce yourself, but also talk about, as you're taking the business over, any changes that may happen or any opportunity. It's probably the closest you'll get to free advertising in our public
Oh,
hearings.
wonderful. Hello, town of Middleton. I'm Kathleen Barrett, and my business partner, Kevin Carney, and I are looking forward to taking over Captain Pizza. I have been in the direct marketing industry for 27 years, working with hotels, airlines, and financial institutions. So I'm hoping to bring a lot of my marketing experience to the restaurant business. My partner, Kevin Carney, has been a chef and restaurant owner his whole career. We are super thrilled to be coming to Middleton. It reminds us of our town in North Andover. It's a very quaint, farm-like town. Everybody knows everybody, and thrilled to be working with the captains. They just have got a wonderful business going, and I think initially Kevin and I, you know, as we get in there, we certainly don't want to change anything immediately. 18 to 20 years of experience in recipes, the captains have got it down. I know Kevin's experience as a chef, there's a lot of new dishes that he wants to bring to the menu. Would like to expand, you know, into a lot of catering. But right now, we may do a little bit with the inside, but we're going to keep it as is for a little bit until we get our feet wet.
Can I ask your partner, you want to, Kevin?
Yeah, come on up, Kevin. Otherwise, I'll keep talking.
Give us a bit of your history, if it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I'm Kevin Carney, Kathy's partner. As she was saying, I've been in the restaurant business most of my life. Been a chef at some bigger places, Sea Glass, Andover Inn, owned a couple places over the years. Looking to get back into an ownership role and see where we can go with the pizza business and see if we can improve things and make it a little bit better and bring it along.
Any other discussion or questions for you, or?
So, I know we have all your information here and your applications for the transfer. And we always say this, especially when it involves wine and malt and cordial licenses. So you're one of the pizza restaurants, for lack of a better term, in town that actually has the right and ability under license to sell beer and wine to your patrons. So a couple of things we take serious is both certification for a safe serve and for tip certification, but secondly, just to ensure that during the hours that you're open and operating, that the folks that are actually operating on the beer and wine side are age appropriate and comply with the license. It's something that I always bring up at all of our license trips. I have no reason to believe that you would do anything other than that, as the previous owners had done the same, but that's just probably the only item that I have.
Okay. Anything else? No, I do see that the lease now is in your name, same owners of the building, but you're now the new leaseholder and replacing the captains. I don't know if there's no other discussion. I'll take a motion for.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the transfer of the wine and malt beverages with cordial liquor license, as well as the common victual license, both presently held by Maximos Incorporated, doing business as Captain Pizza, and transfer those licenses to Barney Restaurant Group LLC, doing business as Captain Pizza, and under both licenses by new manager Kathleen Barrett.
Second.
Second, thank you. All right, if there's no other discussion at all, we'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. All those opposed? Carries unanimously.
Congratulations, welcome to Middleton.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Good luck.
When do you take over?
Once we get the liquor license from ABCC. So
Good.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Next, any new business?
Just that the state did follow through with the transfer of $20 million into the Community Preservation Trust Fund. So we will be getting another check for about $29,000, bringing the total match for the year to $56,000, and we had budgeted 21. So we have some extra funds there, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
Has the CPA committee received any requests yet pursuant to the upcoming budget season?
No, since, we tell people that are interested, in the project that, it really starts with the town's capital planning, process. So if they have something, talk to Andy or as a department head that, gets it onto the capital warrant discussion that we'll have on March 8th. And then, the March 31st or March 30th, the committee will meet to make its funding decisions.
Okay.
Capital requests are due next week, so we haven't necessarily seen everything yet.
Okay, anybody else, anything? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We stand adjourned.